What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay Wilder. This is, in fact, a Q&A from the Forbes list from a video I did last week, and I've been reading the comments, and I've got a lot of comments to Counterpunch, okay? I haven't done this in a while. I do it maybe once a week or twice a week or something. And this particular topic is bringing a lot of buzz, and I see a lot of comments, and I just want to counterpunch some of them with you guys. James Levine, he said, and he could have made $100 million. Wow, AJ makes that in one fight. Shout out to you, James Levine. That is absolutely correct. The video that I made about Deontay Wilder was to, first of all, inform people on the correct information. Okay, Forbes had a list out, and I seen a video by Dante's Boxing Nation, and of course he has an apprentice speaker on there, and he was saying that Deontay Wilder was the third highest paid athlete in the sport. Well, the way he worded it, he was the highest paid athlete, period. No, that wasn't the truth. I had to counterpunch that to let everyone know that he wasn't the third highest paid athlete. Okay. Now, and no boxer was on the top 3 highest paid athletes list. Okay, these guys are not Floyd Mayweather. Okay, Canelo came in at, I think, number 4. Then Anthony Joshua came in at number 13, and Deontay Wilder came in at number 56, and that's how that was. Okay, so a lot of people misconstrued that, like, oh, well, hey, yeah, he's like the highest paid athlete now. Not with making $30 million, you're not, brother. You know what I mean? That's not, that's great to the normal person. That's life-changing money. It's life-changing money for anybody, but it's not the highest paid by far. I mean, this is the Forbes list. This is like the world list, but this is just concerning athletes, okay? So, yeah, he could have made a lot of money with the AJ fight. And then if he would have took the April 13th date, it would have been, he would have made 28 plus an upside, and that's more than he made this year alone. Millions more than he made this year. And I noticed how Forbes put a spill on it. Go to the link, and you guys will see. They added and combined Deontay Wilder's pay-per-view of last year to this year, and combined it and made $30 million. He didn't make $30 million this year. Now, if you're regarding of Anthony Joshua, he made $55 million this year. $55 million this year. And Canelo Alvarez made $95 million this year. Okay, those are these years. That did not include what they made last year. So it's something strange about Forbes. Automatically, Forbes is having some type of favoritism towards Deontay Wilder. I guess, that's the tactic to boost his profile, to make you think that he's made more money than he really has by adding what he made a portion of last year to this year. Well, this is 2019's Forbes list. So they're going against their own list standards. You know what I'm saying? And look, $18 million is more than he made in... because they said he made, I think it was, he made over 10 million or so. I know for the Fury fight, I think it was 12, 13 million, and then 18 million. So 18 and, no, he made 12 million for fighting Fury. 12 plus, and then on top of that, this year he signed with Showtime, and then the Dominic Brazil fight, it was like it was from anywhere from 18 to probably $15 million, depending on how much the revenue was pay-per-view, which is still unclear. But of course that was last year, so you shouldn't even count that. You should count what he made this year, if we're talking about money, because that was what the whole problem was supposed to be about. Money and making the most money and holding out the most money possible. You heard Deontay Wilder's one of his last interviews when he knocked out Brazil in the first round. He said that we risk our lives. We need to make the most money as possible. Good things come to those who wait. That's what the man said. So, that's what he was waiting on, because he knew as long as I keep holding out, if they're offering me $100 million, I know I'm going to hold out for that. Now, all that shit went down the drain now, didn't it? For right now, at least. But for those opportunities, yes. In comparison to what he made this year alone, yeah, I would be pissed. He might be, kicking himself in private. But again, here you go. Here's Spills Perry. Grown men worrying about another man's paycheck. Shaking my head. Wow. Okay. Well, that's like Deontay Wilder. This is another Wilder fan. That's like him saying, oh, Deontay's worrying about another fucking man's paycheck when he should have been worrying about his own when he had the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua on the zone for $100 million. Let's counterpunch that shit right now. Make that make sense. You're talking about me worrying about Deontay Wilder pockets. I'm worried about Deontay Wilder's pockets because Deontay Wilder was worried about Joshua's pockets. And if that's the case, what the fuck is he caring what Joshua makes if he is getting offered a lucrative amount of money like that? Right? But the first thing a Wilder fan will say, you're in his pockets. You always in somebody's pockets. Shit, your boy that y'all praise is in someone else's pockets. So stop. Anyway. J. Law, money is the root of all evil, but that right hand is a gift from God. J. Law, shouts out to you. That is absolutely true. Money is the root of all evil, but that right hand is a gift from God. Obviously so. Obviously so. Deontay Wilder's right hand is probably... The dude can punch, man. I mean, I'm trying to compare it to someone else's punching power at this point. I think of David to his left hook, but how that power generates, he has to launch up at it. He's a shorter fighter, but he will hit you and hurt you and stop any, it'd be fights where Tua was losing and he could hit you with that left. The same for Deontay Wilder's right. He could be losing that fight. Look at the Ortiz fight. He was losing that fight into the 5th round. And he caught Ortiz with that straight right and made him do the little dance. He did a little fiddler's dance. You know what I mean? But the power is real. Ask Dominique Brazil. The power is real. The power, a lot of people thought he was overrated No, it's real. The power, the man can punch. Boxing, whatever, fighting, whatever, you can say what you want. I've criticized him more than anybody about those other attributes. But the attribute of power is real. The man hits you, he's going to knock your head wherever you came from. Counterpunched. Bottom line. So what? Oh my God, I hate when people try to count people's money. He is rich. I don't give a fuck if I had 1 million. Okay? But again, we know what that's about, He says, oh, how much you make though, since we on the subject. Okay. And that's from Lou D Boy. Right? Well, Lou D Boy, the fact of the matter was Deontay was claiming that he betted on himself, right? Like Hasim Rahman said, the former undisputed champion, said it best. Deontay Wilder is either the smartest man in the world or the dumbest. You know what I'm saying? Because he betted on himself. he left all that money on the table to only go and $15 million? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a lot more than all of us make. They're sitting back chatting about other motherfuckers that make a bunch of money. I get that. You know. However, you can't criticize a person for wanting more. You know what I'm saying? But then if you want more, then you go over here and settle for less. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? He wanted to know what Joshua was making versus what he was offered. And then only to turn around and say, hey, I'm betting on myself. I'm free. Now I'm going back to fuck home. I'm going back to wherever I came from. And then and then the problem about the Forbes list, it's exposed simply because Lou D-Boy, because he refused to tell people what he made. In which he's supposed to be happy, the people that been taking care of him all this time. He should be happy about that. He shouldn't be pissed off or keeping shit quiet. You know what I'm saying? That don't sound like someone that's happy to be with a franchise. That sounds like someone that has something to hide. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. He should have said, yeah, I signed with 18 million. But Forbes, hey, they got what he made, and then what they did, they tried to do it, add more to it to make it look more, you know. And in fact, if that's the case, we're talking about 2019, right? Okay, you can't count the $13 million or whatever he made from the pay-per-view from in this year. You don't count that. You count that for last year. You don't count it for this year. So in fact, he probably ain't even number 56 at all. Now thinking about it, if they had to add revenue from another year, but we're only talking about this year. This is Forbes 2019. Okay, this is not 2018 or 17 or none of that shit. You can't combine someone's wages, you know, and make it, oh, well, yeah, he made $30 million and then he made 500,000. See, he made 500,000 in endorsements. Man, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, the dude he got a pay-per-view fight, and he ain't had a pay-per-view fight since. So they feel, okay, we'll add the pay-per-view revenue on top of what he made this year and make it look like something it really fucking ain't. So, Lou D-Boy, or whatever, that's your counterpunch. Okay. Rex Davis. Since Anthony Joshua lost, why in the hell you all in Deontay Wilder's pockets, hater? Okay, well, hey, see what I said about Lou D-Boy? Fuck. You know what I mean? You know, obviously somebody else was in Anthony Joshua's pockets, and it wasn't me. Anyway, moving on. Billy Crew, the only thing that matters now is that it's all about Wilder, Fury, Ruiz. Joshua is the Z side. Wow. Okay. I was getting around to this. Billy Crew. Okay, this is for you. Let me counterpunch you real quick. Anthony Joshua is the Z side. First of all, do you know what A side and B side means? Just because Joshua lost doesn't make him the, whatever you said, Z side. It doesn't mean he's not the A side. The A side means that the person that sells the most tickets, the most marketable person, the person therefore makes the most money, right? That's the A side. It does not matter about the belts. The belts was only a selling point, and Joshua damn near had all of them once upon a time. He lost them to Ruiz. But will Ruiz be the A side in the Joshua fight? No, he won't. Why? Because he's still bounded by contract by the A side fighter. Because people are not going to see Ruiz. I bet you this. If Ruiz decided not to fight Joshua and got sued, okay, and then he decided to fight Deontay Wilder, do you think Deontay Wilder and Ruiz would be bigger than Ruiz Joshua too? No, it would not. Why? Because those two don't generate the amount of revenue. Okay? Those two guys combined. Would people go to see the fight? Yes. Would I watch the fight? I would love to watch the fight. I would love to see that fight. But realistically, okay, that fight won't produce the revenue. Now, Billy Crew, I don't know if you were a Mayweather fan or not. Mayweather broke this down. And I hate it when Mayweather talked economics of boxing, because it stopped the fights from really happening or whatever, but he was absolutely right at the end of the day. The person that makes the most money, the person that sells the tickets, that's the A side. You can't talk around it. It don't matter if Joshua lost 10 times. If the motherfuckers wanted to see him, that's who they going to see. They're not going to see this other fighter. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it takes two to tango, but who would be responsible for selling the tickets? The A side fighter. That's why do you think Madison Square Garden did better than Deontay Wilder, Dominic Breazeale? Right? Same city, different venue. Why do you think that is? Because Anthony Joshua was the most that people's interest sparked. Anthony Joshua coming to America and fighting, right? Or Anthony Joshua probably just fighting, period, right? And then plus he had a fan base. His fan base is bigger. It's what it is, okay? So the belts don't mean that I think people get that confused with, oh man, Joshua don't have the belts no more, so he's no longer the A side. Look, Arturo Gatti was the A side on a lot of fucking fights. You know what I'm saying? But look, Floyd's steps, his steps to stardom, it just didn't start with Oscar De La Hoya, people. It started with Arturo Gatti. When he demolished Arturo, he dispatched Arturo. God bless the dead. But Arturo Gatti was destroyed. But Floyd had to fight fights like Arturo Gatti to get respect, to fight that cash cow Oscar De La Hoya. Okay, but it started with another guy that was mostly marketable, that people loved. Gotti lost, but he was an exciting fight, so people wanted to watch him. Okay, that's how that was. Joshua's turning into one of those fighters, obviously. If he goes in there and fights Ruiz and has one hellified drag out, just leave it all in the ring kind of fight and still loses, you think people don't want to watch him no more? They'll pay to watch him. And here's the thing, he still has the endorsements. He's still this squeaky clean image. He hasn't done anything to lose any endorsements. Just because you lose don't mean you lose endorsements. And by the way, the motherfucker made, $12 million on that this year alone in endorsements. $12 million. So you have these type of guys that think because the A side of Joshua is because he has the belts or not. It doesn't matter about the belts. The belts means that's a selling point. That means you're a champion, but that does not mean you sell. Look at Canelo. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Shit, Canelo just pretty much punked the WBC again and told him where to go with that WBC belt. He didn't even need that belt. You know what I mean? They wanted the sanctioning fees. I just done a video on it. Okay, Canelo, we're going to give you an honorary belt, a franchise belt. Floyd Mayweather will tell you better than anybody. A belt don't make me, right? Sure, he never lost, but Canelo did, right? Canelo lost to who? Mayweather. But does Canelo lose any credibility? No, he doesn't. He doesn't lose any credibility. So no, that doesn't mean he's in the Z side. That means he's still the A side. So it's a Richard Henson. He says, why do you even still have a channel? Okay, fanboy. When Ruiz KO AJ again, you may retire with him. It's dudes like you that makes this world a tough place to live in sometimes. Always hating. Wow. Okay, Richard Henson. Why do I have a channel? Because I report the news. It's called Counterpunch Boxing News. Okay? It's not all about certain fighters. I cover fights abroad. So, to counterpunch you and your bullshit. I don't know how you figure that the video that I'm referring to is a hate video. I expose what Deontay Wilder and his team was trying to hide. And I'm like, why the fuck are they trying to hide it? Be proud of what you decided to go to and the choices you made as a man, as a grown man, right? The business decision, to me, it looked like, hey, the shit didn't work. You know what I'm saying? The shit did not work. I feel that Deontay should have made more money, but then again, the people that were managing him fucked him. If that's hating on him, okay, well, so be it. If you look at that like that, obviously, you call me a AJ fanboy. Motherfucker, you're obviously a Wilder fanboy. I'm not an AJ fanboy. You know what I mean? I see AJ was trying to make a fight with Deontay, a fight that everybody wanted to see, and I seen Deontay making more and more excuses and then changing his tune. That's not hating on Deontay. That's calling it the way it is there, Mr. Henson. So anyway, yeah, my channel will be along if AJ wins, loses, or draws. So thank you very much. Deon6Y Wilder. He does not want to be tied by a 4-fight contract like Fury, who fights Schwartz. Deontay Wilder, or whatever, how you ever pronounce that, because you have a 6 where the where a letter's supposed to be. But anyway, you're absolutely right. I think that he didn't need to be tied down for a 4-fight contract. Look, the contract that was reoffered to him after Fury took the deal with ESPN was bullshit. I wouldn't have took that if I was Deontay Wilder. I don't fault Deontay Wilder for that. I would have done the same thing. Just like, look at it. Look at this. The Dillian White-Anthony Joshua rematch, right? How the clause was that Joshua would still make the bulk of the money being who he was even if he lost. Look, Dillian White decided not to take that fight, right? He made that decision. Okay, so both of those guys did the same thing off the premise of they were getting screwed over and that wasn't the right kind of deal. Okay, I agree with both of them. If I'm Wilder, I wouldn't have done that. If I'm Dillian White, I understand why he didn't do that also. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder cannot say that Fury ducked him. They offered him an offer. It was a lowball offer, but it just shows that, hey, you know this is a setup. You know what they're going to do because they have the money. They don't need money, but they still want to fight you because I guess they believe they can still beat you again because a lot of people thought Fury beat Deontay Wilder, right? So Deontay saying, hell no, I'm not going to sign that, which I agree with. But you can't call that man a ducker. And I don't want to hear that lowballing bullshit. That lowballing shit is one of those things where you look at an offer, you reject the offer, or you accept the offer. But you can't say that fighter did not offer to fight you. That's just common sense. I don't want to hear the espionage and all the little slick shit. Well, he gave that low offer because they know he wouldn't take it. Since he wouldn't take it, that means he didn't really want to fight. Motherfucker, if he didn't want to fight, he wouldn't have even signed the contract. Like Fury, for example. He does not want to fight Dillian White. Right? That is him avoiding that fight. For whatever reason, he don't want to fight Dillian White. Tyson Fury doesn't. That's an example of someone avoiding a fight. If Fury felt that way about Wilder, he would have never offered him a counter offer after he got his deal off the ground. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I mean, but with the 4 fights, I wouldn't have done that shit either. So Deontay Wilder, I wouldn't have done that either. You know what I'm saying? Because you locked into 4 fights. But then you think about it. That makes it that much worse simply because if Deontay is going to turn down a 4-fight deal for $4 million per fight, he turns that down, understandably. How the fuck you going to sign? How you going to turn down a 2-fight deal for $100 million? That makes it that much worse. That's the whole point, right? That's conveying to the video that I made about Forbes. What he made versus what he could have made. Yeah, what he made was good. I commend Deontay Wilder. He did a good job. He doubled his fucking gross lifetime achievement of what he made, right? In from last year to this year. And this is what, June? Right? Almost July. So this is 6 months in. He's already made more than he made his whole fucking career. So yes, his career is doing very well. That's nothing else to say about that. He is successful. He's done things. He has his own clothing line. To this day, how many people say that shit now? Especially in the boxing community. But it went viral. Okay, let's talk about Deontay Wilder for a minute. What did Deontay Wilder do for himself? You know, and that was the build up to the Fury fight. Fury received $100 million to get off the canvas. Deontay Wilder exploded with reporters and told them kind of half-ass how he felt about, real life issues. I feel personally, me being the same race as him or similar race traits as him, being black, knowing, hey, you should have explained that like someone like Ali would have done, right? That's my problem I had with it. But like he said, you Google that shit. So he said, if you don't know, look it up, right? Because of that, it was a silver lining. To this day, went viral. People outside of boxing, got a whim of it like, dude, he exploded. But it was something like Sweet Brown or any other viral person that hit the scene. Okay, so yeah, it benefited him because now he has official merch to this day. Okay, and I promise you guys something. I'll make a promise to you. If he knocks out Tyson Fury, I'll buy one of his shirts and I'll rock his shirt doing videos. I will do that. Mark my word. Counterpunch. Okay, this is all documented. This is media, people. I can't unsay the shit. I just said it. Bottom line. So, no, I mean, it is what it is. Mark Esteban, you are so mad AJ lost. I'm not mad that AJ lost. I'm disappointed that he lost. It's surprising that he lost. But I see both sides, people. Guys act like, oh, AJ, curse just for AJ. I understand that AJ came in there not prepared like he's supposed to, and he got his ass whooped by Andy Ruiz. I'm proud of Andy Ruiz. I'm happy for Andy Ruiz. You will never hear me say a hating video towards Andy Ruiz, unless he does some stupid shit outside of boxing, but he hasn't done anything wrong. Lately, he's talked a little smack, but Andy Ruiz hasn't done anything wrong. I applaud the brother. You know what I mean? Is the first Mexican-American or Mexican, to win the heavyweight title. He's made history. Historia de la vida, para siempre. Absolutely. He's done that. El campeón de Mexicano. Okay. That's wonderful. It's good news to spread. So it was a blessing in disguise. It was a blessing in disguise for Andy Ruiz to win the way he won. And people, discriminated against him because of the way he looked. So really, he has his own movement to, him having the snicker and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think they should sponsor him because he be eating Snicker bars and shit. And they know, okay, hey, there's a market for people that think just because you look a certain way or you're built a certain way, you can't do a certain thing. You see what I'm saying? If AJ was marketed right, which he might get marketed or be marketed, but I think the time to do that is now. Don't wait for a rematch where he may or may not win, right? Do it now. Why it's hot? Why he's hot? So I hope Snickers gives him a great sponsorship. Maybe they're waiting to see if he wins, to see if it's not a farce or a fluke, which it was not. We don't know all the surrounding factors of that fight. However, he tore that ass up, right? Dropped him 4 times. That was an ass beating. Okay? He won. He beat Anthony Joshua.